Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, George Mason University proudly brings to you its premier movie review program that's out of this world. I'm the Dean Machine, Roger Dean, with Mason Cable Network and Student Media, and this is From the Cinema.
Hello all, welcome back to From the Cinema. I hope everyone is doing well on midterms and in their classes. Personally, I'm doing all right. I'm working on it. In the meantime, we all have to do the things we enjoy to make us, help us get through the week. And I enjoy this, so here we go. You may have already seen it, and if you haven't, the Walt Disney Studios Home Entertainment has just finally released this film on Blu-ray disc, DVD, and digital download in North America, March 24, 2015. It's not that long ago, so now you can go and buy it. As you all know, you should never go into the woods. In case that PSA wasn't clear, I'm reviewing Into the Woods 2014. A little bit about the movie. Into the Woods is a 2014 American musical fantasy film directed by Rob Marshall. It was adapted to the screen by James Lapine from his and Stephen Sondheim's Tony Award-winning Broadway musical of the same name, Into the Woods. It was released Christmas Day after using $50 million to make. So far, the box office return has been $121 million, and I expect plenty more. The reason I did the series Into the Woods on my blog was because Into the Woods is inspired by the Grimm brothers fairy tales of Little Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, and Rapunzel. The film is a fantasy genre crossover centered on a childless couple who set out to end a curse placed on them by a vengeful witch. Ultimately, though, the characters are forced to rectify the consequences of their actions. If you are interested in seeing my review of these movies on my blog, my blog is always rogersrundown.blogspot.com. I reviewed Cinderella 1950, Hoodwinked 2005, Tangled 2010, Red Riding Hood 2011, and Jack the Giant Slayer in 2013. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for is coming upon us. I will talk about the story, the music, and whatever else I want. I personally was waiting for this movie for a while. The first time I ever saw this play was live at George Mason University. It was a collaboration of the School of Theater and the School of Music. I went to see it with a very good friend of mine. Her name is Catherine Barlow. She's a photographer, and you can see some of her photos at katherinebphotography.blogspot.com. That's KATHERNBPHOTOGRAPHY.blogspot.com. She's a very interesting spelling of her first name. It was from that day forward that I have always wanted to play the role of Cinderella's prince. It is a character that I definitely feel would be like right up my alley. But I'm personally pretty against fairy tales, but this story spoke to me. The cast is pretty cool. It has plenty of people in it that you have heard of, so here we go. The list is going to be long. I will break it down when we're all done, but from the beginning it features an ensemble cast that includes Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, James Corden, Anna Kendrick, Chris Pine, Tracy Ullman, Christine Baranski, Lila Crawford, Daniel Huddlestone, Mackenzie Mousey, Billy Magnuson, and Johnny Depp. I will talk about each one of them individually so these people can stop clogging my screen. Meryl Streep is the witch. The witch, which she plays very well. See what I did there? It's really funny. I didn't know she could sing. She's also the main villain, and she gives the plot meaning and purpose. And you may have seen her in The Iron Lady 2011 and The Devil Wears Prada 2006. Emily Blunt, as the baker's wife, is a really important character in the story. The plot allows her to be in the story when she needs to be, and that's pretty frequently. You may have seen her in The Adjustment Bureau in 2011, or Looper in 2012. James Corden as the baker hinges the movie together. He really does carry this movie. His voice was very nice for the lead, and I feel like he had this movie in the bag. You may know him from Gavin and Stacey 2007 to 2010, or One Man and Two Governors. I've never seen either of those shows. I believe One Man, Two Governors is a movie, but I'm not really sure. Anna Kendrick is Cinderella, of course, and that's one of the main storylines of this movie. She's a total main character. She gets a lot of screen time, obviously, and I don't mind personally because, she's gorgeous and really talented. She can sing her pitch-perfect butt off. See what I did there? You may know her from Scott Pilgrim versus the World 2010, or Pitch Perfect 2012, or the upcoming Pitch Perfect sequel, Pitch Perfect 2. Chris Pine is Cinderella's prince. Now, in my opinion, Mr. Star Trek Into the Darkness personally stole the show. He was very funny in his role, and he could sing. Who knew? Like, his role as a prince was done justice. But personally, I just didn't want him to mess up my favorite song, and he didn't. You may know him from the movie Unstoppable in 2010 or Horrible Bosses 2 2014. Tracy Ullman, as Jack's mother, is a pretty tough cookie. She stands up to somebody who's a lot bigger than her, and she has a pretty big part that she feels. She's more of a catalyst character. She is funny and doesn't sing all that much. You may know her from Robin Hood Men in Tights or Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. Then there's Christine Baranski in Cinderella's evil stepmother. I say misunderstood as opposed to evil. This character can sing pretty funny notes. She is also really mean, but that's in her title as the role. But she says some pretty wise things in the movie. And this part stuck to the actual storylines of Cinderella, I believe, more than other parts of this movie. And you may know her from Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2000 or Chicago 2002. Lila Crawford as Little Red Riding Hood. Now this role is just funny flat out. She is one of the other main characters and one of the other main storylines. Crawford is funny in this role, and of course she can sing. She plays Little Red, and she is actually the youngest member of the cast. And she is best known for portraying the title role in the 2012 Broadway revival of Annie. She was Annie. Then there's Daniel Huddlestone as Jack. He is the last storyline in this movie. He's pretty young too. He has a great voice, but his accent really gets me because no one in the movie besides him has an accent. I mean, he was Gavroche in Tom Hooper's Les Miserables, and he also had an accent in that movie too. There's also Mackenzie Mousey as Rapunzel. Now this role isn't really big. It doesn't get a lot of screen time, but it is portrayed very well. She stands up for herself. She is nothing like Rapunzel in Tangled. She can sing, so that's similar. She can sing notes over and over and over again very well. She's from The Bold and the Beautiful 2006 through 2008. My Brother's Keeper 2013, and she's currently in the TV show Forever 2014 to the present. She hasn't done much really. Billy Magnuson as Rapunzel's prince. I've never heard of him prior to this role, and this role is just so different. Rapunzel's prince is never a well-known man. Is he this unnamed man that's in the movie, or or is he Flynn Rider? He can sing though, so that's good, and that's a plus. He's from the movies The Lost Valentine 2011 and then 12 in 2012. That's kind of interesting that worked out that way. He hasn't done much either, but maybe that's why they should be together. They both could be in a movie together and then get noticed. Then there's Johnny Depp as the Wolf. Now this guy has always annoyed me, to be honest. He was creepy in this role, but that's because he's a creepy guy. So it fit. He can sing. I mean, I learned that from other movies he was in, he plays it very well. It's a creepy role, creepy guy, makes sense. There isn't much you can say about Johnny Depp that hasn't already been said. He's a great actor. I'm not doubting that. He's just weird. You may know him from Edward Scissorhands in 1990, Sleepy Hollow, 1999, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, 2003, and every other single sequel that's about, because he's the main character, Captain Jack Sparrow. Then there's also Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 2005. Some like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory better. Some like this one better. Take your pick. I like candy. That's all I know. And then there's Alice in Wonderland 2010, where he was the really, really, really weird Mad Hatter. Like I said, he's weird. And then Rango 2011, where he played a lizard. Also kind of weird. But he's been in a lot of movies where he's really weird. Like he's weird. But whatever. Let him be weird. He can be weird all the way to the bank, right? He's making more money than I am. The story is also more closely related to the actual Grimm fairy tales, which it should be. Usually what Disney and other companies do with fairy tales is they take the dark part out, and I think that should be included. That's usually the message of the stories. There's a joke, that they say, a German fairy tale, Billy keeps sucking his thumb. Billy's mom says, stop sucking your thumb. Billy doesn't want to stop sucking his thumb. Billy's mom cuts off his thumbs. Now he can no longer suck his thumb. Don't suck your thumb. They have a message behind the darkness, all right, ladies and gentlemen? That's why I think the dark should be included. Which is why in this movie, it has a very dark second half. The second half will probably make you cry. The plot is the best part, so I will keep that pretty secret. I won't talk much about that. But the next part I want to talk about is the music. It's absolutely the best part. The singing in this musical was phenomenal. I mean, it's a musical, so it better be phenomenal. I love the way the actors put their emotion into the lyrics. The musical has a list of songs that are famous in the very long opening number. The Witch has a song where she talks about plants, and it is pretty famous and well done. Meryl Streep really owns it. She made this song hers, as she did pretty much the entire role. She did some very good things with it that people will like. In Hello, Little Girl, Johnny Depp did something good. He fixed something in this song that has always bothered me. It is where he talks in the middle of it. You will see what I mean when you watch it. Then there's Chris Pine. I mean, he's the real MVP. Because I personally was worried he was going to ruin my favorite song in the movie, which is Agony. He, however, takes this song by the reins and rides it all the way home with Magnuson. They steal the show with this song. The musical aspects of this show were very well thought out. And that's one of the reasons I really enjoyed this movie. Now, personally, my recommendation for this movie is for everyone to see it. I mean, it might be a little inflated because I like musicals, but it is also a good movie. And if you don't like musicals, it's probably not the best choice for you. But then again, my question is, why don't you like musicals? They're pretty awesome. Anyways, it gets an extra from me because they didn't ruin my favorite song, but then it kind of gets docked again because it isn't as high as it could be, because the reprise of my favorite song was cut out. But they had to cut out some stuff in order to, keep it relatively short compared to other musical movies. Les Mis was mega long. Meryl Streep, Anna Kendrick, and the children, Lila Crawford and Daniel Huddlestone, take the cake with these roles. I mean, they did themselves a lot of justice, and the roles as well. I am proud of their work and the product. If you want to see a good movie, check out Into the Woods 2014. Now, personally, I'm very proud of myself for watching this movie the first week it came out. I have a series of this movie on my blog. I also have the Taken series that I've reviewed here as well as on my blog. But the series that will be coming out on my blog sooner than you think will be my Batman vs. Superman series, where I will watch and review every Batman and Superman live-action film in order of release to get ready for the big day release of Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Bottom line, 1, Johnny Depp is creepy. 2, poor Giants, they can never catch a break, from anyone. 3, people are poorer than you think. 4, no one is alone. Michael Jackson said something similar not too long ago, I believe. 5, Meryl Streep doesn't know that princes can be human too. 6, see this movie. 7, enjoy the music if nothing else. 8, enjoy the story more though. 9, they changed some of the lyrics in order to not offend some characters. 10, thanks for sticking with me through this video. I know it's kind of long, but it's been a fun time, I'm sure, right? Then there's 11, if you don't see this movie, you will be in agony. I thank you all for sticking around to the end of the video. As stated before, I won't give it a rating here, but I will on my blog, which you can check out at rogersrundown.blogspot.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, or emotional outbursts, feel free to reach out to me personally on my Twitter at DeanMachine2016 or my blog, which is, again, rogersrundown.blogspot.com. That is all. Thank you. Until next time, do good things and make good choices. Thank you.